I'm a much more reasonable person than people tend to make me out to be.
Do you call yourself a radical?
Yeah, you know, if that's what radical means, call me a radical.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has finally admitted that she's a radical, and she's apparently found a way to pay for her socialist policies. But it would grind our economy to a halt. I'm Anders Hagstrom, and these are the facts. Cortez told CNN's Anderson Cooper that she wanted a Green New Deal.
You're talking about zero carbon emissions, no use of fossil fuels within 12 years?
That is the goal.
And how is she going to pay for it? By raising taxes on the rich to 70%, which Alan Greenspan, a former Federal Reserve chairman, said would be a, quote, terrible mistake.
In a dream world, for some, especially in the Democratic Party, should be up to 70%.
I think it would be a terrible mistake.
And to see why that would be such a terrible mistake, we just need to let Ocasio-Cortez keep talking.
What is the problem with trying to push our technological capacities to the furthest extent possible?
The problem is that taking 70% of your innovators' incomes doesn't advance technology, it stunts it. And then she seemed somewhat indignant at having to explain the money situation at all.
How are you going to pay for all of this?
No one asks how we're going to pay for this Space Force. No one asked how we paid for a $2 trillion tax cut. How do we pay for it? With the same exact mechanisms that we pay for military increases, for the Space Force.
First of all, military spending increases are counted in billions. The type of spending increases she's talking about cost trillions. But she is right. No one did ask how we paid for a $2 trillion tax cut, but that doesn't mean it wouldn't have been a good question. She says the same mechanisms that paid for Trump's tax cut can pay for her plans, but that mechanism doesn't exist because the truth is we didn't pay for Trump's tax cuts. The national debt has skyrocketed under President Trump because we didn't decrease spending along with taxes. And yet, Ocasio-Cortez thinks spending even more is still the answer. And now let's go to some of your comments from last week's video about how Republicans wasted lame duck.
Lame duck.
Larry Wayne Brooks Jr. says, like my mom always said, vote against incumbents. Incumbents. Let them in one term and get them out. It would stop the bullcrap on both sides of the fence. I mean, adding term limits like that might be a good idea, but what if you really like your congressman? What if he gets in one term and then you really like what he does? Then do you just have to kick him out? David J. Turner says they don't want to clean up the swamp any more than the Democrats. The truth is, Republicans have been getting calls from their constituents for the past 2 years saying, why haven't you defunded Planned Parenthood? Why haven't you done so-and-so when you all have all the power? And Republicans really had no response to that. But now that they lost the 2018 election and they lost control of the House, they can comfortably say, look, we don't have all the levers of power, there's nothing we can do. Cynthia Conforth Hamilton says the wall has funding through defense spending bills. And over 60% of Americans want the wall and voted that way. It's actually not at all clear that President Trump could pay for the wall or have the military build the wall through defense spending. That's not actually true that's not actually clear that that's legal at all. And that's why President Trump has been fighting so hard for the $5 billion to build a wall specifically in the budget. Now, $5.6 billion probably wouldn't be enough to build the entire wall on its own, but it is something that Trump has said he needs to fight for. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like and share this video if you liked it and you want to share it. And also be sure to like our page here at the DCNF Presents the Facts and our friends over at American Voices in the Daily Caller. And if you're watching on Facebook, you can like my page in the description. Thanks for watching.